Everyone's up in arms about
Well,
industry plants.
well, you're not gonna say who said it most recently?
I was gonna say largely, the podcast platforms, or because of or because of who?
Well, it seems like a specific podcaster sparked the debate this week.
Okay, go ahead.
So Rory of
Oh,
the
is that who
new,
did it? Because I didn't see that. I didn't see that it was Rory.
it was Rory.
When was this?
I don't know what date their podcast comes out, but I know what you're alluding to. I
Because
can look
now
it
I'm
up. I
curious.
hate looking up podcasts that I don't listen to because
That's okay. I'll do it. I'll do it.
the Spotify
Rory.
algorithm is weird and it's gonna make it seem like I listen to
That's
it
okay.
all
I
the
got it.
time.
New Rory and Mall. Okay. This dropped today.
Yeah,
So you're saying it wasn't today's pod?
it wouldn't have been no. Do they drop 3 episodes a week?
I guess so. All right. So let's look at Tuesday. Red flags. Oh yeah. So it must have been Tuesday.
Right. So uh Rory brought up the conversation of industry plant as it pertains to Dochi. Um,
Okay. Well, maybe that's why.
Used to stay in. Gordon's Seafood has been bringing.
not them getting off the Gordon seafood ad. That's funny. That's just so random for them. Like what? But you know, everybody gotta eat.
And sometimes you gotta eat seafood.
And Gordon's call us because I love seafood.
Anyway. All right. So
I'm
apparently
basically
Rory
a
brought it up.
pescatarian.
Let's focus. Reel it. Reel it in.
Okay, when you were asking Blaze to please give you pizza for life, I'll let you rock.
I got it.
All right, let's go.
So Rory brings up Doshi being an industry plant. Perhaps that's why the same day that they record, later that same day of that episode dropping, maybe that's why Dr. Mark Lamont Hill asked on the Joe Budden podcast, what is an industry plant?
It's possible.
And now we might as well shout out the third podcast. Higher Learning has also debated about what is an industry plant.
Well, higher learning was my reference point. I gotta be honest; they are the ones who gave credit to Rory for bringing up this conversation.
Of course, because they're homies.
Huh?
I said, of course, because they're homies.
Well, not all of them, but you know, Rachel don't have nothing to do with what they got going on.
No, I mean Van and Rory.
Okay. Yeah, I guess, yeah. But yeah, so it was brought up that this conversation around Dochi was happening, and you know, basically people are saying that Dochi is an industry plant. And then I said to you, I don't, and just in full transparency, I did not finish the higher learning conversation. So I'm sure there's more I would learn there. But I said to you, I don't really understand fully.
Mm-hmm.
I shouldn't say I don't understand fully. I understand when people say industry plant what they're saying. However, what I don't understand is what the difference is between someone who is an industry plant and someone who has a rapid rise to stardom. And then my question to that point is, does a rapid rise to stardom exist if every time somebody rapidly rises in front of our faces, everyone calls them an industry plant? To me, it sounds like these people who seem to be doing well and gaining a lot of success end up being referred to as something that sounds like almost like they're undeserving of it.
Right.
And I just struggle with how do people decide who's deserving and who's not, and who's real and who's a plant.
Right.
when most of us are outsiders and are not existing within record labels to know that the record label like knighted someone basically.
These are good questions. Let's start with Google.
Okay.
This comes from Wikipedia, and then we'll go to another couple sources. It says an industry plant is a purgative term primarily used in the music industry, referring to an artist who appears to have risen organically or independently, but is actually secretly backed by a major label or industry players, often with a manufactured image or buzz. So there is Wikipedia. Now, here is an older article from 2021 from Bubblegum Club, who I don't know, but I like their little definition here.
Okay.
It says industry plant is a musical term derived colloquially from hip hop, which is understood to mean an artist who has a major or indie label backing their movement. Oh, it cuts off. Hold on, let me see if I get the last piece. Major/indie label backing their movement, but presents themselves as a homegrown startup to create the illusion of an organic following. So, yeah, basically, this is about when people are, like you said, kind of come up out of nowhere, right? It's like an industry plan is someone who, yeah, I'd never heard of this person, and all of a sudden they're an overnight star. So there's a couple different things you can look at to see is somebody a industry plant or not. One, the real answer is we'll never know straight up are they an industry plant or not. Why? Because you could be someone like Fetty Wap, who came to the label with a complete album full of hits and just needed distribution, marketing, promotion. Right? The idea of an industry plant is that this person rose out of nowhere and is usually with a hit record. It's usually like, I never heard of person A, and all of a sudden, I can't stop hearing their new hit record. But Fetty Wap, I think, is a good example of someone who came with an album full of hits and just needed to be pointed in the right direction. Now, I think that's what makes it tricky is that, one, we don't really always know the person's background. Two, we don't always really know the person's buzz. And some people might say I'm ODing, but there's such thing as a regional hit. Sometimes someone has what's called a regional hit, and you might be only popping in your city.
That's true.
And then you blow up on TikTok, or a label finds you, and now you're a success. So we're never really going to know who's the industry plan for that reason. And the last reason is because people are not going to straight up come out and say, hey, we invested $300 million in artist A, and yes, they're industry plan. And nor is that artist, right? That artist is not going to come out and say, hey, man, they gave me a hit that I didn't write. Neo wrote it, and I had to sign an NDA, and man, it was great. I didn't do anything except perform it.
Confused. And this is where I get confused about this. Isn't that what record labels do? Like, don't they sign you with the expectation that they are going to help you promote and distribute your music so that you can or they can make a lot of money?
The key word there was help. Help indicates that there's something to help with. The idea is an industry plant didn't have something to help with. They showed up and they were made a star. They were chosen to be a star. Now,
so you don't think so? I'm not you. So is it that people don't think that Doechii had talent before she came on the scene?
there is a group of
Because
people
she
on the
raps
internet.
and she sings and she.
It's not about talent, it's about buzz. The idea is an industry plant has no prior history, and we can't really indicate how they've been rising. The idea is they came out of nowhere and are a star overnight.